Imagine for a moment that you're alone, walking down a dark trail in the forest, the sun setting slowly and the wind whispering secrets among the ancient trees. Suddenly, something moves in the shadows. It's not an animal. It's not the wind. It's something that shouldn't be there. What if I told you this isn't just imagination, that ordinary people like you and me have stumbled upon real horrors hidden in the heart of the woods? Today, I'm going to tell you about 3 terrifying discoveries on forest hikes that will make you question every step you take in the dark. Stay until the end, if you have the courage. Let's start with the first story, one that was told to me by a man named Elias, an experienced hiker who swore he'd never set foot in a forest again after what he found. It was a rainy autumn afternoon in a remote forest reserve in the northwestern United States, the kind of place where trees intertwine like bony fingers and the damp ground swallows the sounds of your footsteps. Elias was alone, as always, seeking peace after a painful divorce. He said the forest was his refuge, a place where he could forget the sorrows of the world. But that day, as he followed a lesser-known trail, the air grew heavier, laden with a strange smell like rotten meat mixed with burned incense. He stopped, his heart racing, and there, among the exposed roots of a centuries-old tree, he saw something that didn't make sense. An old, tattered doll with glass eyes that seemed to follow you. It wasn't just an abandoned doll. Around it, the ground was marked with strange symbols, circles of stones and black feathers tied with red threads. Elias approached, feeling a chill run up his spine, as if invisible eyes were watching him from the shadows. He picked up the doll, and that's when he noticed, sewn into its chest, was a piece of yellowed paper with a handwritten message scrawled on it. "She sees you now. Run." Panic overtook him, and he heard a rustling in the leaves, something moving too fast to be human. Elias ran, stumbling over roots, his heart pounding like a war drum until he escaped the forest. Later, researching, he discovered similar reports in the area, stories of an ancient cult that used dolls as sentinels for dark rituals, luring unsuspecting hikers into traps. Elias never went back, and to this day, he swears he feels those glass eyes following him in his dreams. This discovery wasn't just a lost object, it was an invitation to hell, hidden in the shadows of the woods. Now, imagine the oppressive silence of a forest at night, where every snap of a branch sounds like the whisper of something alive, something hungry. Our second story comes from a woman named Sarah, an amateur photographer who loved capturing the wild beauty of the Canadian forests. It was a nighttime hike, guided only by the moonlight filtering through the treetops, and Sarah felt alive, inspired, as if nature was embracing her. But as she ventured deeper into the trail, the air suddenly cooled, and a dense fog rose from the ground, swallowing the trunks like a ghostly veil. That's when she saw it, a human form lying motionless in the middle of the trail, covered in damp leaves and moss. Sarah's heart stopped. Was it a body? She approached slowly, her camera trembling in her hands, the smell of decomposition filling her nostrils, mixed with the earthy scent of the forest. Shining her phone's flashlight, she saw it wasn't a fresh body, but a partial skeleton, with tattered clothes that seemed to date back decades, and beside it, an old backpack, open, revealing yellow diaries. Sarah flipped through the pages with trembling hands, and the words chilled her to the soul. "They're following me. The shadows have eyes. Don't leave the trail." It was the diary of a hiker who disappeared in the 80s, recounting visions of slender figures moving among the trees, whispering names in the wind. As she read, she heard a low moan, like muffled crying coming from the depths of the forest. She dropped everything and ran, panic consuming her, feeling invisible presences brushing against her skin. Authorities later confirmed the skeleton belonged to a man who had vanished without a trace, and similar reports of living shadows had haunted that area for generations. Sarah never photographed at night again. She says that since then, she hears those whispers on silent nights, as if the forest is calling her back to finish what it started.
And now, the third discovery, perhaps the most disturbing of all, because it doesn't just involve the past, but something that might still be out there, waiting. This story is from a group of friends. Let's call them Mike, Lisa, and Tom, who decided to camp in a dense forest in the Appalachians in the United States, seeking adventure and an escape from the stressful routine of city life. It was the second day of hiking, the sun filtering through the leaves in dancing patterns, and the air filled with the song of distant birds. But as they climbed a steep hill, the group stumbled upon an unexpected clearing, a perfect circle where nothing grew, as if the earth had been cursed. In the center, there was an improvised structure, a cabin made of branches and bones. Yes, animal bones, but mixed with something that seemed to be human. Mike, the bravest one, approached, feeling a tingling at the back of his neck as if the air were charged with static electricity. Inside the cabin, they found a crude altar with melted candles, old photos of unknown people, and a leather-bound book filled with notes in an indecipherable language, except for one repeated phrase: "The Shadow Guardians claim what is theirs." As they explored, a guttural roar echoed through the forest, not like any known animal, but something primal, something wrong. The group fled in panic, but Tom tripped, and as he fell, saw a tall, hooded figure emerging from the trees, its eyes glowing like embers in the dark. They escaped by the skin of their teeth, but days later, researching, they discovered local legends about guardians, entities that protect ancient secrets, punishing intruders with terrifying visions. A folklore expert, Dr. Harlan Reed, once said in an interview, "These forests are not empty. They hold living memories, and sometimes those memories bite back." Mike, Lisa, and Tom never camped together again. They carry invisible scars, whispering that the cabin is still there, calling others into the shadows.